You can dive into something like AI in terms of your product if you find a need, but without actually truly understanding what your user's response is likely to be. I think often in tech we presume that all new innovation is going to be received by general users with open arms, but in many cases, and it's already happened, there are brands that have had backlash because of the use of AI, and people either just aren't ready for it, or they directly fear it. They don't understand it, and they're therefore not ready to have uptake on that.
Hi, I'm Mike Green, and welcome to Understanding Users, the podcast where I chat candidly with UX design and research professionals from around the world to hear about how they build digital products and services in a user-centered way. Okay, so I'm delighted to have back on the show today Andy Curry. Andy's managing director of Lion+Mason, and I believe this is your third time that you've spoken on the show, Andy, which makes it something of a record. So lovely to have you back.
I'm something of an old hand now, it seems. Yes, so yeah, so, lovely to be here.
Good to chat. So tell me a little bit first, very, very briefly about kind of Lion+Mason, and then the event you're running, which is kind of the purpose of our chat today. An event that you're running in Leeds at the end of this month, being September 2023 when we're recording this.
Yeah, well, Lion+Mason, we're a product design and user experience consultancy. And that means we basically specialize in helping organizations of all sizes, from startups through to Fortune 500 companies, in helping understand who their users are, what their users need, and then helping them design products, digital or otherwise, that really do truly meet user needs and business needs as well. So that's all the good stuff between user research, service design, wireframing, user journey mapping, right through to UI design as well. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell. Digital Experience Leeds is part of a series of events we've been running over the last 2 years. We've been running both kind of evening events in Leeds on a kind of on a semi-regular basis. But every time that Leeds Digital Festival comes around, we put on a slightly larger event in partnership both times so far with Leeds Building Society. And that these events are designed for both people from client side who are maybe not directly involved in the user experience or product design industry, but are interested in that area. People from product design teams who are looking to kind of network, but also learn more and get inspiration from other people with similar experiences, and also to hear about brand new things that might be being done by people. And they've been really exciting events so far. We've had some fantastic speakers from across all sorts of different disciplines, and from all sorts of different organizations as well. So yeah, they've been really great events.
That's brilliant. And for the benefit of those listening from around the world and may not be familiar with Leeds, in terms of the geography of England, Leeds is a fantastic city. How many 100 miles north of London, would you say?
Oh, God, you're testing my geography there. I'd suggest someone, if wants a genuine answer to that, Google it, but several hundred.
A lovely part of the world, and well worth a visit.
Yes.
The session that you're running at the end of September, this is a half-day session, as you said.
We've got 5 speaker slots, and there's also going to be a Q&A with all those speakers afterwards as well. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
So what do you hope, or what would you like attendees to take away from it? What are the things that they can put into practice in their own work?
Well, based on the type of people that we've had attending these events, and it's been very varied. Like I've mentioned, we've had people from in-house teams who are looking to kind of understand from a wider pool of users what they could do to actually enhance their own practice, and that's great. And people who get inspiration or ideas, or just make connections with people that can help them in kind of improving their own practice within their organization. That's great when we hear people have kind of found something that helps them along that road. Likewise, we have a lot of people who are kind of starting out, or they're fairly junior in their careers in product design or user experience or user research, and they get a great deal, we've heard, from hearing about these stories, hearing about the things that go wrong as much as the things that go right, and finding out that even though someone might have 25 years experience in the industry, they still make mistakes. And I think there's something really lovely about that for people who are coming new to the industry, to know that everybody's growing and everyone's learning all the time. So I think that across the board, it's really interesting to hear the different stories we've heard about what people have taken from these events.
And I'm interested that you mentioned that you've run a series of these events over the last few years, and I've had the pleasure of attending at least one of them myself. What have you kind of been what kind of feedback have you been getting from attendees? What are the kinds of things people want to know more about, and how's it kind of affected how you're planning the sessions going forward?
We've had feedback that certainly, I mean, overwhelmingly positive, and that's the great thing. I think one of the biggest thing that comes out is people like being in a space with other people that do what they do, and that more now than ever, I think, is vitally important. It's a real energy shot in the arm for people to actually be able to share their experiences, and again, part of the real positive parts of our sessions so far have been the talks, obviously, and the discussions that we try and engender after those talks, but also the socializing side of things with people in the breaks and in the sessions afterwards, where we try and make sure that we always fold in time for people in the room, people in the audience, to actually meet each other as well and share and talk. And people have been really positive about that side as well. I'd also say as well, we've looked at themes, we've looked at specific focuses, but actually one of the things that have come back to us is people really like seeing all the different variety of speakers, and we do try and make sure that there's a variety of disciplines. So it's not just one event just about UI or one event just about another particular element of the discipline. We try and get a broad spread. And that's absolutely shown in the lineup of speakers that we've got at the DX Leeds 2023.
In terms of AI, we couldn't have a conversation, certainly in the world that we work in, without raising it.
Yeah.
How is the explosive growth of that? In terms of this session, what you plan to cover, and how do you think that will kind of feed into what people can take away?
It's an inevitable thing to be raised, and I think, to be honest, you'd have to try and run an event these days in our industry that doesn't mention AI, and it would be a bit of an odd thing to try and kind of avoid that entirely. It's one of these new technologies, but it's more than just a technology. It represents the potential for a real paradigm shift in how we work, what we do, and how users engage with digital products moving forward. So to not discuss it would obviously be a little short-sighted and a little head in the sand. It's going to be featured in various different levels. I mean, we have some talks that are literally about the use of AI within digital design. That's actually Mark Bauer's talk. Our very own user experience consultancy is going to be speaking about how processes can be amplified from within agencies or within design departments with AI tools, and also what the pitfalls of those things might be. And myself, I'll be speaking a bit more kind of generally about what the world in the future should, maybe, possibly could look like in terms of AI, and what impact that really might have at a really high level for us all.
And what are you hearing from your clients, out of interest, Andy? Kind of as you're talking to maybe current clients, past clients, as you're pitching for new clients, what kinds of concerns are they bringing to you in terms of what they want to know, what they want to learn, what kind of products they want to develop, whether that be AI focused or something else?
I think the interest in AI amongst our clients is certainly there, and it's present within organizations, but there's definitely hesitancy at this stage for many of them, partly through it's a relatively untested, unproven technology in many circumstances, and actually, it's also potentially quite a confusing one for a lot of our clients. We actually do now work with we've developed a framework through which we can actually help clients start understanding the possibilities of AI in terms of how it might optimize or how might transform some of their own products or create entirely new products, but also for that help them understand the risks and what the true user response might be. And for me, that's the most important. Well, it's one of the biggest things. You can dive into something like AI in terms of your product if you find a need, but without actually truly understanding what your user's response is likely to be. I think often in tech, we presume that all new innovation is going to be received by general users with open arms. But in many cases, and it's already happened, there are brands that have had backlash because of the use of AI, and people either just aren't ready for it, or they directly fear it. They don't understand it, and they're therefore not ready to have uptake on that. We've also heard from certain clients who work in what you'd say is more specialist environments, and I mean that by environments where you're talking about things like healthcare, or you're talking about products that are engaging with children, and there's obviously a deep suspicion about AI in terms of whilst people I think are interested in exploring what it could do, they are not going to take a jump into that until they are absolutely 100% convinced that it is, well, to put it in no other way, safe. If you've got something that's generating content out of your control, really, in what circumstances could you truly trust putting that in the hands of certain types of users, especially more vulnerable users?
Very pertinent questions, and I'm sure we'll be discussing more of this and hearing more of this on the day. Final question, Andy, where can people find out more about the event, and just give us a reminder of the dates and the times and so on?
There's a variety of different ways. The Leeds Digital Festival website will, if you search DX Leeds in there, or Digital Experience Leeds on their site, that should take you straight through to an event page through which you can access our Eventbrite, where you can get your reserve your free tickets. Likewise, if you have a look on our own website, Lion+Mason.com, if you go to the community section there, then you will find the first post up there, Digital Experience Leeds 2023, and all the information's on there too.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll put all those links in the show notes. And just a reminder, actually, that my interview with Andy, I've just gone back. It was episode 6. So we recorded that in January last year, and it's a really, really good one. So if you're interested in finding out more about Andy and his work, then I recommend you listen to that. But in the meantime, thanks to you, Andy, for coming on, and looking forward to the event. I've also got a couple of episodes coming up, one with some of the speakers from the event. We're going to be chatting to them in advance of it. And then we'll be gathering some feedback from participants on the day and sharing that as well. So thank you, Andy.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Understanding Users. If you enjoyed what you heard, do please like or comment wherever you're listening, and feel free to share this episode more widely. And feel free, of course, to drop me a line with any feedback via LinkedIn or my website, researchable.uk. Join me again next time when I'll be sharing some more insights from digital design professionals. Until then, stay safe and stay user-centered.